Hey folks, so here we are with Mac. Mac's an XL bully. Mac, come on up here and show them how massive you are. Okay, this is one of the biggest XL bullies I've ever seen in all my years working with dogs and even just walking down the street seeing dogs. Now this guy's a great dog, but he came to my clients without any training and without much socialization. And believe it or not, folks, even the nicest XL bully without training and socialization could become a royal pain in the ass. And so what we're doing right here is just working with him on his socialization. Now, when he came to us, he had the martingale collar on, and the owners did an incredible job with the martingale collar. However, they found at times it was difficult for them to communicate with him what they needed from him. And believe it or not, when they were pulling on the leash and he was putting on the brakes, he got overwhelmed. So what I want to do right now is show you how we're using the leash to help him succeed around dogs. And we're just going to focus on 3 pointers. How loose the leash is most of the time. So let's walk here and I'll show you what I mean, and let's hope my camera person doesn't crash. So the leash is very loose here. You'll notice, although I might change lengths, the leash remains loose, except for maybe a split second, I tug it so he'll come towards me. It's so important during socialization that we've really mastered our leash skills so that when we're using our leash, come on buddy, let's go. Good boy, buddy. We're just giving a little tug, okay? Come on, let's go. It's so important right now, come on buddy, to not so much focus on, hey, when can Mac play with dogs? Or when can Mac, whoa, Mackie boy, don't fall down. When can Mac smell their butts? But it's better to think about, hey, where is our level of communication? And can I communicate with him clearly around dogs? If so, cool. And what level of distraction is the level of distraction that I can communicate with him around? So that brings me to my next point. If you're finding that your leash is tight too much and you're socializing with dogs, it may not be the right dog. It may be that your dog is not ready for that yet, okay? And so think about it like this. A lot of these dogs you're seeing here, Mac's actually already been around. Sometimes for even 3, 4, or 5 days before we finally get close to the dog on a leash. And so if you're struggling trying to introduce new dogs, maybe just let them cohabitate for a little bit before you bring them out on a leash together, and maybe ask yourself, is this other dog I'm trying to introduce my dog to being as attentive and cooperative and courteous and kind as my own dog is? And, you know, if you are doing that, you're going to have success. So let's think about this. The leash is loose, other than giving little tugs, okay? We're not getting him to the point where he's so distracted by dogs that we can't connect with him and we can't communicate with him. We're not bringing him around dogs that are bothering him and pestering him, and we're saying, hey Mac, listen to me, and he's going, hey, but they're not leaving me alone. And we're not worried about if he's going to play or not right now. We know he likes to play with dogs. We know he likes dogs. He's already shown us that. The big thing is to keep that intact by having clear communication, so we could tell him as he learns to play with dogs, hey man, here's how you play successfully. And that brings me to my final point. People are so focused on the play, and the play, I must admit, is important and so crucial for rehabilitation and for just having a healthy bully breed. It's so important that they know how to play with other dogs. However, what I notice is we don't have communication with the dogs when they're playing. We need to be like the jiu-jitsu coach. We need to be like the boxing coach with 2 young gentlemen who are practicing their jiu-jitsu or practicing their martial arts together. We need to be like the sensei who's there and can say, okay, you guys, we're going to have a wrestling match here, but look, there's certain rules, and if I say stop at any point, you got to stop, and hey, that's how this goes, folks. And then afterwards, we'll all together as a team sit here and we'll relax together and it will be good. What I see is it's kind of WrestleMania with these dogs, or maybe it's a mosh pit at the punk rock concert when they're playing, and there's nobody there to teach them how to regulate themselves in that context. And although I promise you, and we all know those pit bulls that have just done great, rolling the dice and throwing them out in the dog park, and they make the best choices, what we found sometimes as time goes on is we maybe are not maximizing the benefit that could come from their playtime with other dogs. Perhaps we could use those other dogs as a reward for them listening to us instead of having other dogs be a distraction. Or perhaps maybe when our dog is playing, it's not going to make other people uncomfortable because they're going to go, oh my God, that dog looks crazy. When we say, hey, stop, and the dog stops, they go, oh, A dog wasn't crazy. Dog was just playing, having fun. Let's roll with Mac here a little bit more. So, go for that neutrality. Go for that peaceful coexistence with other dogs. You don't need food in this equation. That could add another element and create some jealousy. Come on. You don't need to be gripping your leash all crazy tight. If you're gripping the leash all tight, folks, you or the dog are in over their head, I promise you. And if that leash is super tight, folks, how are we going to let him explore and be curious and meet dogs and investigate? Don't worry about playing, folks, and just go with the flow. So those are some general pointers here. But above all else, folks, focus on using dogs as a way to assess your level of communication with your dog around distractions versus focusing so much on, oh, my dog has to meet dogs, that you lose sight of, hey, my dog's fine with dogs. It's me. I don't know how to tell my dog things when there's dogs around. Like even right now, Emma's got her toy. This guy loves his toys. He needs to understand, hey man, sometimes the dog's gonna have a toy and I know you wanna play, but Emma's just sitting there chewing on her toy. She's not gonna play right now with you. Come on, buddy. And you know, maybe a better choice would be just come over here and hang out with me. So that's all, folks, a good session here. And that's what these socialization sessions should look like. Short sessions where we're feeling really good and our leash is loose. Hey, homeboy. Homeboy, can you sit down? Come on. Come on. Hey, sit down, buddy. Come on. I know that's hard up there. I can't sit up here. It's too hard. Come on. Can you do it? You can do it, son. Come on, son. Good, son. Son. Good. So that's all, folks. The monstrous XL bully here, Mac, and myself, Eric from Follow the Leader Canine. As always, we want to say we don't blame them, we train them. You can always check me out online if you want to hire me for an individual consultation or buy my poetry book even. Okay, we'll see you then, folks. Take care.